I identify as Hispanic.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I hate it.
It's cultural appreciation, not appropriation.
That's a great way of putting it.
Welcome back, Jake Paulers. You take it. You're better.
They're going
at
to see
this.
chocolate in my teeth.
I don't think you have anything. I think you're fine. Wouldn't that just make it...
That was aggressive.
You just, crushed that. Okay.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Devin Romero. I'm with our co-host, Ada MacArthur, and with our guest, Venus.
Hello.
So we're going to talk a little bit to Venus about her upbringing, her origin, and just some of her background. She has personal experience with different family members that have actually been deported by ICE, or friends, I think it was specifically, but friends that were deported by ICE. And we're going to kind of ask her about those experiences and get some of the front lines experience and details. So we'll get right into it. But Venus, go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Venus. I'm 19. I'm from Southern and Northern California, and I'm currently in college, and I study electrical engineering.
Pretty impressive. So can you tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in your household?
Sure, yeah. So I was born in Baldwin Park, born and raised in Baldwin Park, and we stayed there for about 11 years. And we lived in a pretty, it was a rough neighborhood.
Lots of crime.
Lots of crime, yeah, lots of homelessness, lots of crime, lots of, just trash and graffiti, etc. There's definitely worse in LA, for sure, but it wasn't pretty at all.
Did you guys ever personally have any interactions with criminals or anything, where they, mugged you or something like that?
We've definitely had our mail stolen a lot.
Okay.
We had things stolen off of, our porch. Lots of creepy people would, walk around at night and just... we tended to play it more safe, but
That's
we
nice.
Definitely had interactions, obviously, that were out of our control, so.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like too much crazy stuff. That's good.
Yeah, luckily.
Being from California, I'm very aware of some of the crazy stories of people trying to, open your door as you're parked and get in your car, and it's terrifying. It's insane.
I have a lot of family members who their homes have been stolen. I mean, not stolen. Their cars have been stolen. Their homes have gotten broken into. Vandalized. And
Well, it's a good thing that California hasn't outlawed guns or anything. That'll help solve the issue.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, but just not a pretty place to grow up at all. And we were definitely on the very poor side of it as well. So there was also that experience of just navigating life like that as a young kid in LA.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go into a little bit of just some of your experiences with your family. You talked about how there were some different rough dynamics and whatnot. You mentioned that you're really close with your mom. What was really beneficial to you about your mother's relationship with you?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm close with her in a sense that we're best friends. I have a lot of respect for my mom. I love my mom. I love both of my parents. But I definitely look up to my mom a lot. She is one of the strongest people I know. She has some of the best faith ever. And she's been very strong throughout. Life has thrown her so many challenges that you would look at it and you'd be like, why? It's incredible. But she's just a very strong individual who's inspired me to just keep going and doing better.
Gotcha. So one of the things you mentioned was, you've grown up a Latter-day Saint. You still are a member of the church. And you mentioned how your parents are converts. Could you tell us a little bit about their story? How did they end up finding the gospel?
Yeah, so both of them were contacted by missionaries, actually. My mom when she was 13. Maybe a little bit younger than that. But I know she was baptized at 13, and the missionaries came and knocked on their door and, introduced them to the church. And she grew up without a father. And so her entire life, it was I want a father. And so when they taught her about Heavenly Father, she's like, I finally found one, And so that was a big driving factor in her joining the church and still continually, attending and being strong and active in it, is the fact that she knows that she has a father in heaven who won't leave her or who's not a bad person like her father was.
Was she a person of faith before that?
They were Catholic by tradition.
Okay.
So my great grandmother was Catholic, devout Catholic, and it's more of a traditional thing in Mexican households where they're not necessarily practicing, but yeah, it's more by tradition.
It's actually the same for my parents. Well, my mom, she was Catholic, and met my dad, who was inactive at the time, and then they ended up getting married. So at first my mom wasn't thinking it was going to happen, just because there was a lot of negative stigma about our church. There still is, and a lot of misunderstandings, and despite all of that, they ended up making it work, and they got married, and my mom joined the church and got baptized and everything. So it's pretty cool to see that. But the same thing, my grandmother, she believes that, like, Paul received the authority from Christ to continue on the church. So that's why she considered herself a Catholic.
Yeah.
But a lot of times my mom's side of the family, like, they didn't attend church regularly.
Yeah.
So
it's like on special occasions, Christmas,
Right,
Easter,
it's
Mother's Day.
right.
Yeah, they do that too.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I don't know entirely what the reasons for that is, but I know for sure that she believed that authority came directly from Peter, and that she really revered the she loves Christ and everything. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that too. So as someone, it's funny because I have the last name Romero, so everyone assumes when I was in the Philippines, everyone thought I was Filipino because there's a lot of Spanish influence over there. And so they immediately think that. And then when I talk to Latinos, I work in construction, and so
That's racist.
they're really surprised when they're like, Romero, and they're like, do you speak Spanish?
They start talking in Spanish sometimes. You're just like, yo, no, hablar.
I don't know hablo español.
Look at you.
I know some stuff.
Puro Latino eres, güey. Me llega.
I don't know that. No comprende. No comprendo.
There you go. Look at this dude. Look at this guy.
He got the
So-
congregations out here.
So, but that's the thing is, I know a little bit, but just enough to where I'm like, oh, I just realized that's what they said. Like basic phrases.
Yeah.
But it takes me a second. I'm really rusty.
Is it because you're Italian? Is that well? Not like Italian. No.
No. So I don't know what you mean by that question. Actually,
No, like the last name root Italian.
Oh,
it's not.
no.
It's not the root isn't Italian, but it's obviously Latin based. And I know your side of the family. Oh, not your side, but as far as I'm aware,
my
your side
mom's side is the Italian.
is the Italian side.
So I got the name from my dad's side, and
Interesting, yeah.
he got that name from Spain.
Oh yeah, okay, that
But
makes sense.
it's very little influence genetically. It's
Right,
just
it's just a name passed down.
pretty
Okay, that makes
much.
sense.
Yeah.
that's funny,
Hence how white I am.
Yeah.
But it's. I wanted to kind of focus on, because despite that being the case, I don't know a lot about Hispanic culture. And I just wanted to kind of delve into that a little bit. Like, what was your upbringing like in regard to a Hispanic culture? How did you notice it being different from an American culture?
It didn't really hit me until we moved to Northern California. So
Really?
my family has lived there since, my great-grandparents immigrated here, et cetera, but our family moved to Northern California in 2017 when I was 11, turning 12. And so obviously up until that point, I was in LA. And I love my culture. I love how big we are on hospitality, on food, on music, parties, and family. We're very family oriented. And, I love my culture so much. And I came to Northern California where there wasn't as many Hispanics, and very shocked to say the least. I think in the way it's different, I guess, to a typical American culture. I think one of the big things that I noticed was like the way you guys run certain events, certain parties, or even like being on time is a thing, or isn't. It depends. It depends on the family.
That's a big statement. Yeah. Because I've been in Latino culture. They're never on time.
No,
bro.
the party doesn't start until like 2 hours after. Like,
it's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I just know what you're talking about. I feel you there.
Yeah. So sometimes they're like, when they say it starts at 5, it starts at 5. Or sometimes so I get there at 6 and they're like, why are you here at 6? You said it started at 5. No, it starts at 5. Like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Or, I don't know, just like, oh, we'll have food. And then we go and it's like chips. Food? No es comida. Like, To me, there's just different. There's just like
I have to agree with you on that part.
there's like different. What's it called?
White people suck.
No,
I identify as Hispanic.
That's why he loves Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Do you like Bad Bunny?
To an extent.
1 to 10.
1 to 10, I'd say like a 5. And there are some
Aiden's a
songs-
full 11.
Oh, I know. I can tell.
Double up.
It's okay. Yeah.
Only the clean songs.
Sure.
Right, Mom?
What clean song?
Okay.
Okay, there are a couple.
I think an 11 out of 10 would know the clean songs.
That's true.
We can move on.
Yeah.
We don't got to talk about them.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, just certain things like the way that you guys, not you guys, but like just Americans.
Yeah.
I'm American. Oh my gosh. But you know what I mean.
We know what
Like,
you're saying.
yeah, just American culture runs is very different from Hispanic. Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
From what we've talked about, you were mentioning that there's been different prejudice, specifically moving up to Idaho. Mm-hmm. What's that been like?
Well, I didn't really receive a lot of prejudice in LA because everybody's Hispanic in LA, and the other biggest ethnicity there is Asian. So like, the Asians and the and the Hispanics got along really well. Then I guess came up here to Idaho, and all of a sudden it's like I stand out, and there are certain questions people will ask me, and they might not be all like ill-willed or anything, but the way they ask them, or the things that they assume that I know, or they assume that I don't know, also is also like, what?
It's like they assume that you're an illegal, and they're shocked that you made it this far up from the border.
Has anyone actually assumed that you were illegal?
Someone in California surprisingly told me to go back to where I came from.
Oh, nuts. Were they white?
Yeah.
Frick that person.
Well, the funny thing is you're like,
I'm from here.
yeah, I did that. Check.
Yeah. And actually,
speaks to him in perfect English. Oh, frick.
I know. And actually, if you want to talk geography and, history, my family was in Mexico way before the United States was created. In the parts of California that were Mexico.
See, that's a whole other argument.
That's
right
a whole
there,
other argument, but still, like, regardless or not, I've been here and I'm second generation. Like, the fact that they assume is actually kind of crazy.
Well,
that's actually nuts.
How many people actually know that, like, what was it? North of Texas and then all westward was Mexico prior?
Oh, yeah. That was all Mexico.
America conquered that land in battle with Mexico.
We are so prideful, we don't even know that.
Yeah.
It's
Los
crazy.
Tigres del Norte, they wrote a song about it. It's actually so gas. Have you heard it?
I know, yeah.
What's it called? No, don't tell me.
I wouldn't know the name, but I think I know what you're talking
I'm
about.
gonna look it
Well,
up. You guys
the
can tell me.
crazy thing was, my understanding of that too is that they told basically they could have just taken all of Mexico. Like, that's how badly the difference was in the war.
Oh yeah.
And then we were like, we'll just take this chunk. And it was like 70% of the land.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of it.
60% somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy history. So I bet that's part of the thing too, is people don't even realize that was part of America's history.
It was, and but I've gotten questions, I've gotten just comments as well, and
How does that make you feel?
it's off-putting. It's also like I like to laugh at things because if you don't laugh you cry. But like I think it's kind of funny, but in a depressing way, because it's like, wow, you actually think that. Like, that's insane to me.
So I hear a lot of people that they make different jokes and stuff like that about, so many different issues.
Yeah.
And part of that's just because so many people are so fed up with like DEI.
Yeah.
And they're fed up with just the political correctness. And so almost in a rebellion, they make fun of the concept of racism,
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
And I don't like that personally. How does that make you feel? Do you think that's a funny thing and you're like, oh, I know you're just joking? Or does that rub you the wrong way?
It depends. I really feel like it depends on what they're talking about.
And how far they take
and
it?
how far they take it. And
That
also,
makes
I
sense.
guess also like the relationship, how they are as well. Because some people, like, all jokes have some truth behind them. So
That's a fair point.
It's like, okay, yeah, you're joking about this, but do you actually mean that?
Right. And how much?
And how much of it do you believe?
Yeah.
Because then that's like concerning, because if you're joking about, me going back to where I came from, then I'm like, I don't know who you are, like how much I believe you're joking. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's crazy. It's just wild to me too, because I mean, people get in these, again, same thing with the Mexico-America thing. They don't understand the history. People don't realize that people have been hated forever. Like, you take a group of people, you're going to find a minority. Like, our church is a minority and was a minority for a long time. And except if you're in Utah or Idaho.
We don't get scholarships for it, though.
And if you are...
That's true.
If you are the minority in any given area, you do face a level of prejudice. Like, it's part of the tribe concept.
Yeah.
What it comes down to is psychologically, you're thinking, well, someone that's not like me or someone that's a stranger to the tribe, they might be a threat.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you think about of thousands of years of history, you know, nations were pretty homogenous groups of people, or not homogenous. Yeah. I'm using that word correctly. Homogenous. It's like same type of people. And so what ends up happening is it's not about race. It's just the fact that, well, the Mongols and the Chinese are separate nations. So they're separate races. So they have envy against each other and they attack each other, and there's wars and wins and losses and death, and you know, it's that.
Yeah.
It's not so much focused around race. So it's that type of a I would say people have been trained, conditioned to think that way.
Yeah.
And some people will say it's an evolutionary mechanism, but one way or another, they've been trained to think that way. And now that we live in such a like not homogenous society, such an interracial society, and in a society where so many different ideas are out there, sometimes people, they struggle to have all of that like unpredictability, I guess.
Yeah.
You're pulling the carpet out from underneath people's feet, because now we're doing this American experiment, and then you have all these intermixing of races, and people are just, I guess, like subconsciously not used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, so
Yeah, no, for sure. That makes sense.
there's a lot of communities where it's like there's predominantly black people in these communities, and people will say, I mean, there's economic things that did back in the Jim Crow era push black people into the worst parts of a city. You know, that was by design for some instances. But the other thing is just you move where like-minded or like similar people are.
Yeah.
I don't think it has as much to do with the color of someone's skin as it does, hey, they can relate to my culture.
Yeah.
You know, you can talk to another Latina or Latino, and you're like, you get me.
Yeah.
But I can too.
Yeah. See,
Right,
like
so-
I've met people who they're white, but they grew up around a lot of Hispanic people, or they
Right.
served in, you know, Latin missions, and they come back, I get you. Sometimes more than I get other people of my own like ethnicity.
I
And
was
that's-
just talking before we filmed. Like, I was joking about how I don't like white people.
Right.
Yeah, obviously not true, but you know, sometimes I miss Latino culture, bro. It's so sick.
So that's kind of
yeah.
what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It probably took me a little too long to get to that point,
I
but
get
I'm
you.
trying to develop these thoughts. And that's the thought is, for so long it was really easy. It was, well, I don't have to worry about, you know, it was other groups.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at. There was always a minority. Before, it wasn't race, because your nation was that one group of people, but you'd have that one group that's like, you believe a different religion than me. I don't like you because of that.
Yeah.
But it was like the 5% or the 10% of the population.
Yeah.
And then they were mistreated and disrespected and discriminated against. But then when it wasn't religion, it was, you know, maybe it was sports. Maybe it was, you know, work. You know, companies have rivalry between each other. I see that in my work. It's usually, you know, harmless.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are ways that people find to discriminate against someone. If you have seen The Sneetches,
Yeah.
if you've read that book, that sums up all of human congruencies and cliques.
The Sneetches?
The Sneetches. It's
That's a
really-
Dr. Seuss thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I have.
there are these
It's-
yellow birds.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They have stars on their pouches.
Oh, then some of them don't have stars.
Some of them
Yep.
don't have stars, so they go through this machine. You know, actually, that's funny you mentioned that, because my that's the exact analogy my math professor uses to explain functions. It's like there's an input and then there's multiple outputs, but there's one input for multiple out. Anyway,
Right.
I'm going
We don't
off
talk
topic.
about math on this podcast.
I'm
That
aware of
is
that.
the
I'm
one
sorry.
topic. No, I actually like math.
It's
What?
Yeah.
It's-
good at it.
That's why we're such a good dynamic. You're good at math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done stuff like calculus, but
What am I good at? We'll figure it out.
talking,
Yeah.
wearing that hat.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've worn this hat on the podcast.
I don't think I've ever seen you
You're good
without
at
the
it.
hat. Oh. Okay.
Trump 2028, baby. Let's get this bread.
That will be unreal. Oh my goodness. So, but
I'm putting it back. I don't like it.
what I'm getting at with this is there has always been discrimination. I'm challenging the idea that our culture is systemically racist.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that word all the time. Do we have racists? Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We have racists. I think we will always have racists until Christ comes again and the millennium brings peace on the earth.
Yeah, racist on both sides, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are black people that hate white people. There are
And
white
there we
people
go.
that hate black people. And it's for all colors.
There's even Hispanics who hate other Hispanics because they're darker, they're lighter.
Yep,
There's
I-
racism within within
Yep.
cultures.
It's true.
I saw that
It's nuts.
in the Philippines. Yeah,
That's so crazy.
it's crazy. So, but that's the situation. Is there has and always will be discrimination until there is peace on earth. And there will be peace on earth partly because Jesus, conquers that. And we all realize, hey, we are all brothers and sisters in Christ. There's no need for us to, stop looking at the skin surface level. We have to look deeper and see this person's spirit is, a relative of mine.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I'm trying to get to is just that's the core of the issue. But the other thing is that there is still always going to be that difficulty for people when they see someone different than them. It happens for disabilities too.
Yeah.
And so what we need to do is we need to learn to be more accepting of each other, and we need to be more open to having that conversation, because then that's when we realize this person's human.
Yeah.
They're not a thing. They're not an object. They're not an image. That's a human being, child of God. And I need to get to know them better if I'm going to be able to understand who they really are.
Yeah. And I think to add to that, I think we also need to we need to stop being so like walking on eggshells around the talk about race and your culture and, even cultural appropriation. I think that's the dumbest thing, by the way.
Why?
Cultural appropriation. Because if somebody wants to go outside and wear a sombrero, let's say, I don't care if you're not going outside and making fun of the fact, if you're not being disrespectful.
Right.
I don't care. If you want to wear that because you like the hat, because it works well for you, because I don't care, go for it. There's I think, and I'm not trying to speak for all, Hispanic people, just in my experience and in my family, if somebody who is not Mexican tries to learn Spanish, loves to wear our clothes, loves to eat our food, loves to listen and dance to our music, we love that.
You feel accepted.
You feel accepted because you realize that other people are taking your culture and they're appreciating it.
Yep.
It's cultural appreciation, not appropriation.
That's a great way of putting it.
They're not appropriating.
Whoa, that's a bar, dude.
If you're not disrespecting it, I think you're appreciating it. So why are we trying to stop people from doing things like that?
Right.
I think it's the dumbest thing on earth.
For sure.
If I saw somebody walking down the hall and they had like a poncho on or something, I'd be like, heck yeah. I think that would be so cool because guess what? You're representing my culture. I don't care if you're not of, my ethnicity. Culture's for everybody. Like, if we just isolated it, then the world would be such a depressing place. Like,
Yeah.
It would be really sad.
One thing I do a lot is, especially on campus here, I hear people speaking Spanish, and I look over and they've got darker skin. I'm like, oh man, they're Latino, and I go over and talk to them like, hey, where'd you learn Spanish? And initially, I was like, oh, what if they think that I'm being racist? No, we're just being homies. Like, hey, I speak Spanish too. ¿Qué onda vos? And it's we start chatting, and it's sick.
Yeah.
There was exactly what you were just talking about. This guy named Will Witt. He works with PragerU or worked. He went to some college campus. I think it was UC Berkeley, which is on my bucket list.
Berkeley's pretty.
Berkeley's pretty.
I've been there.
Pretty liberal.
Very. But yeah, it's beautiful nonetheless.
Nice, but he went to some radical left campus, and he was dressed exactly like you said, with sombrero, with the what's it called?
Poncho.
With
The poncho,
The
yeah.
poncho. He had a fake mustache on. It was so obviously taped.
Hola.
He looked hilarious, and he's going around to people. He's like, to white people first off, who don't speak Spanish, no association. He said, "Does this outfit offend you?" And they say, "Yeah, I think it's offensive because you're not appreciating their culture. You're not actually Mexican." And then he went up to these old geezed up Mexican dudes. He's like, "Hey, do I look good?" They're like, "Órale, way, yeah."
Yeah.
Dapping him up.
Yeah.
It was so sick to see.
Does this outfit offend you? No, senor.
No. Do I look good? Yeah, you look perfect.
No, it was the same thing in Thailand. I'm not Thai, well, they thought I was Thai because I look Asian anyway, but I'm not.
Are you not Asian?
No.
Oh, I don't see race, so.
Sure.
Not true. Of course I do.
I know you do.
Everyone else sees race.
But
Sorry to cut you off.
no, it's okay. I went to Thailand, and there's like a lot of traditional stuff in Thailand as they offer it, and they would love it. They love to see people like appreciating their culture, dancing to their music, wearing the clothes that they wear, or like the traditional ones at least, and going to their temples and things like that. They loved it. And I'm like, this is how it should be, appreciating, not disrespecting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, people don't understand. As Americans, we're so daft. That culture is the lifeblood of a community. And we've lost our culture to a large extent as Americans, and that's why we're so aimless right now. So we don't appreciate that. But as a Hispanic, I could totally see you guys just being like, someone that's an outsider celebrating my culture. That's the perpetuation of your beliefs, of your family, of your memories, of your culture. I've heard from Native Americans that they're like, which I understand that some people take issue with that terminology, but you can call them Indians, that they are trying desperately to keep their culture alive.
Oh yeah.
Because of the dynamics that have happened to their peoples since America began and since they got oppressed.
Oh, that was a tragic.
Yeah.
Oof.
Terrible things that happened.
Yeah.
And ever since then, they've been cloistered in these different reservations. And just my understanding, not that I know their cultures very well, but I've heard from different individuals from those cultures that they are trying to keep their language alive. Yeah. They're trying to wear their cultural clothing, their dances, their music. And it's like, why? As an American, why? We don't have stuff like that. Maybe we have like Christmas music and patriotic songs. Like, we're running out of a lot of our cultural.
You guys are running
I would
out.
love it if either like Mexico or something started listening to Freebird. You know how sick that would be? That'd be so dope.
But that's what we don't understand. And other cultures understand that so powerfully.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the situation with the Indians is they're trying desperately to keep it alive. And it's probably on life support for a lot of communities, sadly.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because it's, I think, I adhere to a sense of pride in your culture because you appreciate it and you love your culture. Like I see, people celebrating Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, and I look at the colors and the flowers and the ofrendas and all of these things, and I'm like, this is beautiful. And I feel like a sense of pride well up.
Absolutely.
Because this is my culture, and I love it. I'm proud of it, and I'm glad that they're, continuously practicing it.
Yep.
So I couldn't imagine if, let's say I was Native American and my culture was dying. I'd be so sad because it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to waste.
Well, I want to just give an invitation to the audience real quick here. This absolutely applies to our culture too. We have a different culture than a lot of other nations. We've integrated a lot of other nations' cultures into our own, and that's honestly, I think that is a great thing. Sometimes we've lost things in that process, which is sad, but we've also, gained things. We've got Italy's pizza. We've got, great Mexican food up here. We've got, great sushi. I'm a huge sushi fan. We've integrated so many different cultures into America. And it's not just the food. It's also the beliefs, because this nation is a nation of immigrants. And I just want to plead with everyone in the audience to please hold fast to our culture. We do have room in our culture for people that don't look like us. And our culture is an idea. It's an experience, and it is a memory that we pass on to our children and to friends and family. Don't ever get wrapped up in this concept that culture is just around your race. I heard a video from some extremists recently that they were talking about how they're worried we're going to lose America because it's becoming less white. That's not the issue to me. It's not the white. It's not the white, brown, black, or any other color. It's the fact that the people that are coming to our country aren't adopting our culture. Yes. That they're not signing up for our culture. They're signing up for, I want a job and economic wealth, being well off. I want to have an economic success in America, but they're not here because they love the country. And that's not every immigrant, obviously. But those people that are doing that, it's happening at enough of a scale to where we are having a loss of our culture. And I think we can have both at the same time. We can have lots of immigration and strong culture. Really, if you want to know what the problem is, it's that the native-born American citizens have sacrificed our culture. I really don't think much of this is coming from the immigration process. It's just if you're not maintaining it, if the members of a club aren't upholding the rules, then how do you expect the recruits to even know what the heck the rules are?
Exactly. Yeah.
They need to have an example to go off of first.
So how are we forgetting our own culture?
I mean, part of it's religion. We are a Christian nation. It's just true. A Christian nation that is so open-minded that it allows all religions to take part inside of the protections of our nation. But our origin is absolutely, undoubtedly Christian. But we're surrendering our Christian origin, and we're adopting these new postmodern ideas, the gender ideologies, feminist ideology, a lot of these different things that the right calls woke, it's changing our culture, and it's a new culture. And it's not a culture that's rooted deep in the soul of the American dream. It's not, and it's touted in the defense of liberty and open-mindedness and tolerance, but sometimes those ideologies have been some of the most intolerant in recent years. Yeah. So, I think we've all had experiences with that. But that's what's ending up happening is we're becoming less patriotic. People are saying, "Oh, if I see an American flag, I'm in fear of my safety."
Which is crazy.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
It's the kneeling at the flag for sports events. It's, all the different anti-American things that people have been saying and doing about how they want the nation to crumble and they want socialism to take its place. All of this, people don't realize, even if socialism was a stable form of governance, if you were to institute it here, not only would you have a bunch of rednecks that would definitely not let that fly, but you're losing everything about a country. You're washing the slate clean and going to try to build it up again. And who are you to say that you're competent enough and intelligent enough to do that correctly without the whole Jenga tower coming down? It's so easy to destroy. It's really, really hard to build up. Our founding fathers were God-inspired men, and even despite the fact that there were so many miracles, if you study our history, you'll know what I'm talking about, involved in the fact that we even formed as a nation, everything was against us. Everything. We should not exist right now. This should still be British-controlled land. Okay? The only reason that it worked was because of the miracles that God provided through his providence. And even then, look at how imperfect our founding fathers were. Yeah, some of them were slave owners. Yeah, some of them thought black people were not capable of self-governance. Yeah, they, didn't settle the issue of slavery right away. Just various different things. The Constitution isn't perfect because guess what? We're not following it right now. If it was perfect, it would be rock solid right now. So the weakness of man is a guarantee. The question is, how close can you get to perfect? They got miraculously close. What do you want to bet that's ever going to happen a second time? Not likely. Not likely. So that was not at all planned.
I want to touch on something you said, though. You're talking about how people are scared of the American flag and how it's racist, and they kneel for it and stuff. They burn it. I want to extend an invitation to anyone who feels that way. Come and talk with us. Let's talk about why the American flag is racist and why you don't like it. I'd love to have a chat about that. And that's not me trying to be secretly threatening. I mean, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I genuinely have no idea what is going through your brain when you think the American flag is racist. You got to stomp on it and stuff. And that's just me being curious. And so let's find out. If you can't tell by now, we're pretty level-headed and we talk about things. So
yeah.
Crazy chick, if you're out there, come talk to us.
So we'll put a tag up in the top right-hand corner of the screen for what he was just talking about, a reaction video to a crazy lady. So I want to go into your religious journey. You mentioned how, now that we understand a little bit of your background, your culture, I think we can empathize more as part of our mission. We try to talk about people's personal side of the argument, so that when we get into the disagreements, when we get into the agreements, we understand you better. We understand where you're coming from. We can kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Because more than just the words you're saying, there's emotion behind it. So go ahead and start from the beginning of when you started faltering in your faith and started saying like, I don't know if I believe this anymore. Like, why did that end up happening?
Yeah, well, I think it initially stemmed from the fact that I guess our family's earlier approach to church wasn't the best. My dad wasn't leading anything. He wasn't doing his priesthood duties. And so my mom was taking over and did her best in that, and I appreciate that. But living that situation, as a young kid, it just like, I guess I was annoyed that she would, force me to go to church and all these things. I wasn't happy about that, and so I started to resent the church because I was like, this is not, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. This is not where I want to be. I don't believe in it. I just shut everything out because I was annoyed that I was being forced to go. And this continued maybe until I was 14-ish. So say from like 9 to 14. It started getting better.
And you felt, just to double check, so you felt forced because your mom's trying to keep everything together. And so she's like, we're going to church.
We're going to church, whether you like it or not. In this house, we are going to church, like whether you like it or not. And I didn't like that. I didn't agree with that. And to an extent, still don't. I understand more now, but to an extent, and we can touch on this later. But I was just, and then also they would preach a lot. It's very their church is very family centered, which I think is a good thing, genuinely. But coming from somebody with a broken family, you hear that all the time. Singing families can be together forever in church. Heartbreaking. Hated it. So that also was like a thing where I didn't want to be there, because I'm like, I see all these families there and they're all so happy and they're all with their entire everybody, and I'm just here, forced to be here. I don't want to be here. So, yeah.
You didn't feel like your family fit into that ideal picture.
Yeah.
Most don't.
Yeah, but you don't realize that as a young kid.
No, you think you're the only one.
Yeah, and what my mom always told me this all the time as a young kid, like, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, and so you don't assume. But again, as a young kid, as someone who's just annoyed at the world, at the church, at everything and everybody, you're blocking out everything. You're like, I don't care. This is me. This is my experience. Like, this isn't going to go anywhere. Like, I'm just done,
Well, the crazy thing is the reason I say it's for everyone goes through that experience, is because we're all imperfect, So how do you expect the perfect thing to come out of, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 imperfect people coming together, and you got this family unit? You're going to have people fighting and bickering. You're going to have, he took my toy. He keeps touching me. You're going to have all the kids fighting and bickering. That's going to happen. I think the reason that the church gives us that ideal too is it's not, you're not good enough if you don't reach this, which I think too frequently people, whether they mean to or not, they forget that it's the case.
Yeah.
But the reason that the church gives us that ideal is to say, this is the aim. Kind of that, shoot for the stars and you'll land on the moon concept. You got so far.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the distance between where you landed and where you're aiming, but look how far you've come.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I also attribute it to church culture sometimes is a little extreme. It shouldn't be, because, church culture isn't church doctrine, but yeah, like,
I agree with you on that. Church culture, we got some whack traditions and practices that are not doctrine. They're so dumb.
They are. And especially, there's a lot here in Idaho. There's going to be worse in Utah. But,
you say those two things and we all know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm moving to Utah, so whoops.
Yeah, Utah.
But yeah, it was just tough because I wasn't happy, so I just blamed it on the church.
Yeah. That's a pretty common reaction. I've seen a lot of people that do that. So And I want people to know too, like, there is stigma in the church. It's not because of the church leadership, though. Like, everyone, when you watch General Conference, they're literally rebuking people that do that.
Yeah, I love it.
They're literally
awesome.
like, someone with a tattoo walks in your chapel. What are your thoughts going to?
Go say hi. That's
Like,
what, yeah.
you better be
That's what
friendly,
they talked about. Yeah.
and you better be non-judgmental. If you start judging them, guess who committed the bigger sin? Not them. You know, not that
Al
having
infierno vas.
not that having a tattoo
Not that
is a
extreme.
sin.
But
Not that having a tattoo is a sin, but I'm just saying, like, Christ taught us that if someone does something to you and you don't forgive them, you are being unrighteously judgmental, because we can make judgment. It's you judge whether a person is safe to leave your kids with, but not judging where people will end up in the next life, and not judging putting yourself above another person. That's really what the issue is.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever do that. We're all equal. We're all equally sinful. Yeah. In just different ways. I have a different flavor of sin. What's your flavor? That's all that's going on. We're all sinful.
Yeah.
But so I just want people to understand that are outside of that culture and that context. If we seem weird, I don't think most of us are, besides just the different beliefs that we have about our
just
the
the wackos
laws
in Utah.
But there are some I'll say wackos, that's an apt description, that it does not comprise all of us. They just stand out because that's what crazy people do, is they stand out. And they rub off wrong on people. They rub people wrong. And we all face that, but to varying degrees.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to hit this too. I also want to add to that, because of so much judgment that some people have when someone's struggling in their faith, that is not, oh, you're a bad person. Oh, you're not strong in the gospel. How dare you? Yeah. Which some people do have that. I don't personally know anyone like that, but I know that they exist. My first question whenever someone's like, I'm struggling with my faith, is, where are you at? Like what's going on? Like, tell me the before, the current, the what you're thinking about in the future. Where are you? And then I want to ask them, like, how did you get here? What is your plan? Are you seeking for guidance, direction? Are you praying? Different things like that. And obviously different people's journeys won't look the way that I might anticipate. But I want to kind of see, like, where they are, and I want to see if there's any way that I can possibly help them. That's, I feel like, maybe it's not the best approach, but it's a much better approach than what those other individuals,
for sure,
that are extreme and I would say fairly rare examples, where they judge you when you're struggling. And the truth is, I think every person that's honest is going to have struggles in their faith. I can point to times in my past where I was not as diligent. I was kind of just coasting through life. And you just, at some point, you get tired of the emptiness. And that's motivating you to seek something better and bigger. So I really do think that turmoil is to your benefit if you let it become a positive turning point in your life, as opposed to just the status quo that you sit in. So that's the greatest thing about those journeys, is that you're able to rise up above it. You grow so much. You find yourself in that journey. Yeah. So that's where I want to go next, is I want to see what were the events leading up to where you are now.
Events leading up. Well, one of them was definitely us moving to Northern California. Our ward back in Southern California, my dad didn't go to church with us just because family issues, whatever. But, like, there was a lot of judgmental members there, asking my mom, like, oh, she's not here with her husband. Where's her husband? Where's your dad? Like, that was insane. But coming to, to Northern California, fresh start, definitely that helped. But also, like, meeting different people, different leaders as well. And as I got older, it continuously got built up seeing my mom's example, and then like meeting my best friend now. She's also has a very, very strong testimony, which inspired me a lot. And so there's just a lot of different people, I guess, along the way that I've met that helped me build me back up to where I was at and to where I am now, which I'm very grateful for, because their examples and their testimonies helped inspire mine, and so that I can shape it and build into what I have now. So
that's sweet.
Yeah.
So, and when you were going through that faith crisis, it wasn't like, my understanding is it sounds like you were just angry at the church because of all the different things that it connected to.
Yeah.
Was there other things that you were struggling with in regard to just belief?
It was a lot of surrounding the family. Like,
Can that actually be an eternal?
Can it be eternal? Do families really last forever? That kind of thing was just like bouncing around my head, and it confused me a lot. It kind of sometimes still does. You know, I'll question it sometimes, but I believe in it. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen it. So, yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that does. Yeah. Well, especially with what you said with Hispanic culture, with family being so important, that's probably a really tough thing to be battling with. Like, more so than just the average person.
Yeah.
So you mentioned too that, and I actually know this individual, that there was a person that was helping you to recover. What did that look like? What did this individual do that helped you to find healing? I want to see that. I want to see that resolution in action.
Well, okay. I'll attribute it to, I guess, two main individuals. One being my mom, one my best friend Annabelle. Shout out. But I'd start with my mom. Her faith is immovable. Like, she is one of the strongest people I know. Life has thrown her the worst things, and she has yet remained insanely faithful. And so seeing that, it makes me think, like, what are you doing? Your life isn't as hard. Like, you should do better. You can do better. And I think also having a friend my age who has a really strong testimony as well, and who's really into the church, it gives me an example. Like, I want to be more like her. She inspires me. She's the kind of person I want to be. I like some of these qualities. So instead of just, wishing that I could be like that, I'd act upon it. And, do these things that sometimes that she was doing. Obviously not to be exactly like her, but to have those Christ-like qualities that she has is something that I appreciate. But yeah.
Did you idealize Annabelle's family?
Yes.
You're like, that's a perfect family.
Yeah.
I want that.
And I know they're not, but compared to my family, they're pretty dang good. And they still are. They're a good family. So
yeah. I want to call out the reason that this is happening. I mean, we are very observational creatures. If you have ever seen, I have a 1-year-old. If you've ever seen a little kid, they are soaking in everything. You think they're not looking. They are watching everything you do. Everything you say, they will repeat it. Maybe not now. Give it a few months. Oh, yeah. They will be saying the words you are saying. So you have to watch yourself really careful. It's like they are mirrored, pointing back at you as a parent. But the reason that is we're hardwired to see what's around us and mimic it. And part of that's so you fit in. Again, we talked about earlier about tribal thought process. It's just kind of hardwired into how we think, it seems. But so you're trying to fit in, and you're trying to engage in activity while they're alive and they're doing these things. So if I do those things, maybe it'll help me with survival, socially and otherwise. But you're demonstrating something on a spiritual level where you felt starved from that ideal in a family. Not to say that your family didn't, raise you right or didn't teach you great things, by the way. I don't want to demean that. Yeah. But you're starved of this ideal, and you're wrestling with reality versus the ideal. Yeah. And then once you find an example of it, your mind and your spirit are like, I need to hold fast to that example as a hope that I can one day attain that. Yeah. And it's so interesting I'm picturing you going through that.
Yeah. It almost feels like I guess it's not only like I see it and I want to attain it, but it's also like, is that even obtainable? It's off-putting at first because it's like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be real. Something's going on. Something's fake. There's no way. It's a lot of doubting first, and then when you realize, like, okay, no, these are just normal people, then it's the realization that, okay, my life was messed up.
Yeah.
And that this is what I want. And so I want to be around these types of people so that, you know, they can, like, rub off on me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Would you say that you've ever gotten to a really good place and you're like, oh crap, things are going well, maybe you made a new friend, and you're like wrestling with, does this person like me? They must think I'm a weirdo, da 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 da, and you're doing this self-talk that's just super negative and doubtful, and then, you know, maybe you didn't, but I picture the possibility of you're having this wrestle and you're like, I'm just not going to talk to them anymore. And you just pretend like they don't exist because you're scared they might actually change the dynamic and teach you, well, yeah, I am lovable.
It's a lot of fear. I think it also depends on, like, the person that you're friends with. So
Right.
if it was somebody that I didn't really trust, then yeah, I'd distance myself. But because I trust her a lot and we're very close, I wasn't scared that she was going to find out my family dynamic and be like, oh, you're weird. Oh, you know, your family isn't like mine. Or, you know, I know her and I trust her enough to know that she's going to find out, or I'll tell her things and she'll be like, I'm so sorry. What can I do? And she'll accept it and she'll help me either overcome it or she'll help me go through it. So, yeah, but it really does depend on the person of, like, how do I process this?
But you've experienced that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah. Or you're just like, oh, they're going to think I'm weird, so let me just not talk to them.
Yeah, because I've dealt with that myself, and so that's why I asked that question. I related really well with a person that I served on the same mission with. Her name is Jocinda, and I think that's her full name. She always went by Josie. I'm pretty sure it was Jocinda. So, but anyway, she had said, she was like, yeah, I was working at Subway one time, and I hated working there. And I was like, can you tell me why? Why'd you hate working at Subway? Me thinking it's just the workplace environment. And she was like, well, whenever my friends would come over and buy a sandwich, I was always worried I was going to screw up their sandwich. And then I'd give them the sandwich and they would be like, you're a terrible friend for ruining my sandwich. What a simple thing. And you failed. And so she would always panic. And I'm like, I literally do that.
Well, those aren't friends if they do that. Those are not friends.
Right,
those are not your
right.
friends. But yeah,
you're internalizing this anxiety. And so that's where my thought process was going.
For sure.
A real friend would ruin their sandwich on purpose.
100%. I agree. If you don't do that,
I kind of want to work at Subway now. I'm quitting the podcast.
You know,
I don't talk for 20 minutes and then I chime in and just say something stupid. That's the role I play.
Now you know what type of friend Aiden would be.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys, by the way. I know. That is a type of friend I am.
It keeps life interesting.
Yeah. My cousin hates mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise sandwich?
Extra mayo.
Extra mayo. He gets his McChickens without mayo. Like, who does that? Exactly. Thank you. I'm talking behind the camera, not you guys. Don't flatter yourself.
I don't get McChickens, so I skip the whole thing. Nope. I hate McDonald's. Blech.
McDeaths. That's what my uncle says.
McDuds?
McDeaths.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, that's what he calls it. Because he called it, I didn't eat McDonald's for 2 years.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I hate it. Okay.
I can't provide anything normal for this conversation. I just start talking about McChicken. That's cool, but the McChicken is $3 now. Thanks, Biden.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
let's continue. I'll try and say something important to the conversation for our next topic.
But yeah, so I just wanted to ask about that, coming from my personal experience and stuff.
Yeah.
But so that's really awesome to see that. I don't think there's really any other questions that I had for you on that specific topic. But thank you for being willing to share that, because those are some of the most vulnerable stories to talk about. It's just like you're always worried that people are going to judge you. Yeah. So and that's the thing we're trying to establish here, is that just expectation that nope, everything's on the table aside from violence. Yeah, don't expect to do any of that up here. But anyway, so we want to spend we don't have much time, but the next little bit talking about some of the political issues that you said were important to you. Mainly I want to talk to you about your experiences with ICE,
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people and it's always like, this happened, this happened, this happened. I'm like, show me the proof.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen a lot of convincing proof yet. Because there's a lot of stories I've heard that I'm like, oh my goodness, if that's happening, I will be right beside you saying, Trump, stop that right now.
Last episode, we had about 4 of them.
So that's the thing is, I want to see the proof.
Yeah.
So I this is an opportunity for us to really see
Yeah.
that firsthand.
Well, I haven't had experience with ICE. I've had a lot of experiences with people getting deported or just illegal.
People you knew.
People I knew. For example, in elementary school, I didn't have. I could make friends easily, but I couldn't keep them because, in my head, what I knew was, they would always just disappear. Like, they'd move away. It seriously wasn't until last year I realized these kids and their families got deported, and that's why I didn't have friends. Is because they got deported. And I knew they got deported because the teacher would throw a going away party if they knew that somebody was moving away legitimately. And
And
one
it
day,
didn't happen.
one day the kid just disappeared, and the teacher didn't know. And then you can tell when the teacher found out, and then started slowly removing the things from their desk and clearing things. It's like as like they
What
never
the heck?
existed. They got deported. I didn't even know that.
When did that happen?
Elementary school. This was Obama administration.
Okay.
So yeah, and
That is why I ask, just
Yeah.
because.
Whoa. So,
Well, I told you those statistics last episode.
Yeah.
It was that Obama was actually known as deporter in chief, which ironically, the 2 presidents that deported more people than him were Clinton and Bush,
Yeah.
in that order.
wait, weren't they Democrats though?
Bush
No,
wasn't.
that's impossible.
Clinton was a Democrat.
Bush.
Bush was a Republican. Obama's a Democrat.
No, that's impossible. Democrats can't deport. I don't believe that for 1 second.
it's almost as if Obama deported more people than Trump did.
Wait, hold on. Say that again. I didn't hear you. Say it into this.
It's almost as if Obama deported more people than Trump did in his 2 years.
Yep.
What's your ethnicity again?
Mexican.
Oh. That's actually
Wait,
weird.
are you one of are you one of the Trump supporters?
The what?
Are you one of the Trump supporters? One of the MAGA?
No, she's not a Trump supporter.
No,
she's Mexican.
I can't. I'm Mexican.
You
What are you talking
can't?
about?
She can't support Trump because she's Mexican and she's a woman. So we don't let her.
That's a double jeopardy there. Yeah.
It's bad.
Comments are gonna go crazy. Drop it now. Drop your hate comment. It's gonna be sick.
Nah.
We love you, by the way. Thanks for talking.
The funny thing is, I asked that question as if I'm not one.
A Trump supporter. You're
Yeah.
a Trump
Are
supporter.
you one of the Trump supporters?
You're a Trump supporter.
The Trump supporter. Ooh.
Bigot.
Yeah.
You racist.
So,
homophobe.
so what's for people that don't understand how those 2 things can coexist? I mean, maybe they'll call you a race traitor, like they
Oh,
called
yeah.
certain person on our production team. They called her a gender
gender
traitor.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting. Very creative insult.
Very.
But
Makes me laugh every time. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
they used to call that an Uncle Tom. So, but for people that think that that's an issue,
Uh-huh.
which absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
How do you explain that to people that you're like, hey, I've literally seen all these interactions with people getting deported throughout the last several administrations, by the way?
Yeah,
Because
for
it sounds like it wasn't just a single president. It's
Multiple.
been a consistent thing over the last decade or so.
Yeah.
So how do you explain that to people when they would anticipate you must really hate Trump then?
I have to keep it a secret around basically everybody except basically my entire extended family. I love them, by the way. I love my extended family, but they are definitely if I tell them, I would definitely see them distant themselves and maybe try to argue with me about these things. They would definitely call me like a race traitor.
They're all
crazy.
Latino?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nuts.
Oh yeah, and they'd probably tell me that I'm like not Mexican enough to say that kind of stuff. I'm sure I get a bunch of things because I've talked to other people of like different ethnicities, the same as mine as well. Is like I tell them, no, I'm not a liberal. I don't even say I'm a Trump supporter. I just say I'm not a liberal. I don't support, illegal immigration, blah blah blah. And they're like, whoa, you must love Trump. You must like race traders. I've gotten that. Or they just be like, I can't believe you would say that. Like, he's against your people, and he's targeting you, and he hates you, and he hates women, and he hates Mexicans. And it's like...
Which it sounds like you don't believe any of those things.
No, not really.
So why do you consider yourself a Trump supporter?
I'm not in love with Trump, but I also don't hate him. I think I'm kind of more of like, he's doing good things. Some things I disagree with.
Yeah.
And other things I'm like, heck yeah. I think that's kind of where I'm standing, is more on the more supportive side,
Yeah.
but not like full reins, because there are some things he does and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think you should have done that.
Did you vote for Trump in the last election?
I did. I turned 18 2 weeks before, and I went and I voted.
So that's the thing. I want to point
love
out.
that.
I'm not trying to make a huge deal about Trump. What I'm trying to say is that you can have. I think you're being honest if you're saying there are things I don't like about person A. There's a lot of things that they do that I do like, or maybe they don't do so many things that you like, you know. But that's typically how that's gonna play out.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty rare that you're just like, I literally agree with everything this person has ever done or said.
Yeah, that
That's
never happens.
weird. That if you
do, you're radical, and
Yeah.
your opinion
Most
matters
likely.
slightly less than the rest of ours.
I mean, I guess unless that person is Jesus.
Yeah.
You're like, I agree with but even him, lots of people don't like certain things he did. They like to edit out the times when he was experiencing justice or demonstrating justice in lieu of mercy, and then other people do the opposite way. And whenever you do that, it's not good, but
Yeah.
and that's a whole different other topic.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to just like delve into that a little bit. So do you feel like, based on your experience, do you feel like your people are in jeopardy, that they're not safe in our country?
No.
Okay.
Here's what I think. As unfortunate as it is, and I'm not trying to speak for like the entire Mexican race population at all. This is based on my experience. Like, I know how my people can be, and I know how we can't. And there are certain things that we do that is like, ew. And other things I'm very proud of. Like, we have good work ethic. That's one of the things that we're most known for, is our hard work ethic. But
That's a very valuable and honorable trait.
It
that
is.
us white people don't have today.
We've lost it.
We are
used to have
lazy,
it.
and we scroll reels, and we play the victim mentality.
Yeah, like immigrants are some of the hardest working people I know.
Right.
But I've also met a lot of immigrants who are criminals. So, like, when I was 8, we used to live in front of a Home Depot. And I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of illegal immigrants who come here, mainly men, I say majority men,
Yeah.
they can't find jobs. Obviously, for the most part, they can't. So what they do is they'll buy a truck, and then they'll get with a bunch of their buddies, and then they'll hang out in front of Home Depot. And construction companies or companies that need extra help to work on things, they'll go to and they'll find these guys. They're just sitting on trucks. They're hanging out, and they'll say, "Okay, we need 3 workers," and then they'll take them and then they'll pay them based off of the work. So there's a lot of those. You'll go to Lowe's, especially in Los Angeles, like Lowe's, Ace, Home Depot. You know, in front of these big like construction department stores.
Yeah.
They'll be there. And when I was 8, my older brother and I wanted to go to McDonald's, and my mom was ticked off at us, so she like kicked us out of the house for the day. But we had a big yard, so she was expecting us to stay in the yard. But we were mad at her, so we walked across the street, and we had to cross to the Home Depot parking lot to go to McDonald's. And I was 8, I was wearing pajamas with my 10-year-old big brother, and I got catcalled by one of those guys.
Whoa.
Who, I'm 8 years old, by the way, catcalled by one of those guys, or a couple, actually, I think there are a couple of them, sitting on the truck. And my brother just grabbed my hand and he walked past her. He said, "Venus, look down and keep going." And so we basically like ran to McDonald's, and we didn't have money. We just got water. But yeah, like then we had to go around to avoid them again, because like that was really creepy. And there's just been a lot of things that I've seen, basically like a lot of people who have stolen things or things you hear about, they're all immigrants. And it's so unfortunate, because it's like, I know we can be better, but a good amount of people who come in here commit crimes. And it's so unfortunate, because it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
But why are you going to come into this country and commit crimes and think you're not going to get deported when you get caught?
Right.
So I see it like both ways. It's like, okay, yes, a lot of illegal immigrants come here just to work, but a lot become criminals. Well, I mean, you're a criminal, you enter illegally, but like even more on top of the fact.
Yeah.
And it's just, I despise that, because we could be so much better. We are very, very hardworking people. And if we just did it the right way, I think we'd benefit a lot more.
They tarnish, the Latino culture.
Oh yeah.
And they give a bad rap to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really, really interesting perspective too. I would have never thought of that myself.
Yeah.
But it's really
Yeah.
cool insight. So I had a question. When your friends were getting deported in elementary school, did you know? It sounds like you didn't, but did you know if they were illegal or not?
You can tell. You can tell. For the most part, you can tell. just by the way they look, or if they spoke a lot of broken English, just means their family speaks only Spanish at home.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of kids like that. I mean, in LA, there's a lot of like legal immigrants who don't speak English.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I guess there was a way to tell just by the way they dressed, the way they looked, the way they spoke. I could tell. I didn't care, but I could see the difference. And so when they would disappear, I was like, oh, they just moved away. And that happened a lot with a lot of those specific kids. And I was just like, why can't I make friends? Because the friends I'd make would just disappear. And I'm like, why didn't they tell me they were moving? You know, I was hurt and I didn't know, but yeah.
Can you think of any example where someone moved away and appeared to be legal and normal resident?
Yeah, I had this one friend, her name was Jennifer. She looked totally normal, like totally fine. And I think this was in 3rd grade. And she was there for maybe 5 months. She came, also they'll come like mid-semester, school year. I don't do semesters there. Mid-school year. And then like 3 months later, like we were really good friends, just disappeared. And I was like, what? I was so mad because I was like, they all keep leaving. And the same kids, and we really didn't get new kids unless they were either legitimately moving to the area or illegal, like kids of illegal immigrants. So the kids that I grew up with throughout elementary school were the same people I saw. We hardly got new kids. And if they were legitimately here, they would stay and you would see it. So from literally kindergarten through 5th grade, it was the same class. You would just have kids popping in and out. And yeah, it was kind of interesting.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So I wanted to switch gears a little bit. You talked about one of the issues that you had an opinion about, and after some time, you changed your mind on. You realized maybe I don't know what's true in this situation, and that's the Palestine-Israel conflict. So just give us a real quick breakdown. We won't spend too much time on this.
Yeah.
But what was your starting point on the issue, and what did you end up coming to a conclusion about? Well,
my starting point was I didn't know, because it just exploded, right? October 7th, I think it was 2023, right? Everything, the news was just blowing up. Oh my gosh, they're at war now. And I'm like, what's going on? And so my dad watches news on the TV all the time. That's all he does. But I would see it, and it would be like Fox News, and all they would talk about is how like Palestinians are like terrorists, and all of them, and Israel is just getting bombed out of nowhere, and blah blah blah. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like why is this happening? And Israel must be like, they're all getting attacked from like Iran and like all these other places, like everybody's like ganging up against them and everything. And that's kind of what I thought up until I came up to college, and I'm taking currently a Middle East class, so I'm learning a lot about the Middle East. And one of our required readings was this book called Blood Brothers by Elias Shakur. And it is about a perspective of a Arab Christian boy who grew up during the time when like the Jews came after World War II to Palestine, and they made it into Israel, and they basically got kicked out of everywhere. And it brought a new perspective of how Israel came to be, how this entire thing happened.
Since the 40s.
Yeah. And I was shocked because nobody talks about that really. And if they do, then, obviously on the left side, they're all like, Israel, people, they're terrorists and Zionism and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why am I going to listen to you? You're just yelling. So I didn't really know what to believe. And so actually recently, like was it last week, we were learning about Israel and its history and Palestine as well. And there was a lot of things that I'm like, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with the way they came to be. I think that was very wrong. There's a way of doing that. But
well, and for people's context too, that was the British.
Yeah.
The British decided we're going to move the Jews. It's kind of a response to World War II. Yeah. But they moved the Jews to their homeland, where they lived for thousands of years prior. And yeah, I don't know exactly what all the going-ons were that brought that about, but we do know that it's prophecy too in the Bible that they would be returned to the land.
Yeah, and so I guess where I'm kind of conflicted, and right now where I stand is I don't know. It's still, I feel like I'm kind of on both, because what I see is like, yes, Israel, the land of Israel, Holy Land, was promised to the Jews since the time of Abraham. That is prophesized. That is the land of the Jews. But when the Ottomans took over, the Romans took over Israel, right? And then the Ottomans took over the Romans.
Yep.
And then since Ottoman Empire, all Arabs have been living there
Yep.
for centuries. You can't just go in and kick all those people out that were living there for centuries and say, okay, bye-bye, this is my land now. To me, that's wrong, because yes, that land was promised to you. By God, they don't believe in that. And if you go and try and tell them that, they're not going to believe you. So what do? You go and kill them? You go and destroy their homes, blow up their cities? That's insane. So I don't agree with the way that Israel was formed, how they took over it. Russia was involved, the United States was involved, Britain and France were involved in a lot of Middle Eastern affairs as well. And so to me, that's just I don't agree with that. But I also don't agree with the way that Palestine is trying to take back Israel with the terrorism.
With violence.
Violence. Hamas is a legit terrorist organization that's been ruling Palestine since 2007. And they invest all of their money into war. They don't even care about their people.
Yeah, the people are suffering and starving.
And
They've raided the UN supplied. Glenn Beck with Mercury One supplies lots of resources over there. The moment the trucks even get close, Hamas it's flies over the trucks.
Oh, yeah.
And they take all the food. And so people say all this stuff, Israel's cutting off food supply to the Palestinians. No, Hamas is. Hamas is. And there's been things that Israel has done.
Oh, yeah.
That, and again, I have a really hard time because who do I trust? You've got two news sources out there. You've got pro-Israeli and you've got Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't think either of those are reliable if you're hearing the positives about the side that they come from and the negatives about the opposite. So I don't know what to believe over there, but I know for sure that inevitable with human nature, as we've discussed, both sides have made mistakes.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And sure, I know that citizens have died, civilians have died, Palestinians that were not associated with Hamas have died in the different raids. Part of that is because Hamas has used some of them as human shields.
Yeah.
And trying to we'll put citizens around this area so that way, part of it also too, if Israel does attack them, now they can say, look, see, they murdered all these civilians.
Yeah.
But, I'm not justifying that, by the way. That's not me saying that I think that's okay. Anytime a citizen or a civilian is lost because of war, anytime any person is lost from war, it's a tragic, terrible thing.
Yeah.
But you do also have to understand, think about how many German citizens died when we bombed Germany. But how many people would say, well, that was a good thing that we bombed Germany because we killed Hitler? Not from the bombs, but I'm just saying we bombed Berlin.
Yeah.
And therefore we were able to conquer Germany and then the war ended, But how many people would look at that with fondness and revelry and say, that was a glorious thing? Do you know how many citizens died from those bombing raids? I'm not glorifying that. I'm not condoning it. All I'm saying is that is what happens when you're in war. It's an ugly, ugly thing.
Oh, yeah.
But both sides have done it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what are your thoughts on that? So, you're just to kind of explore that. I guess my thoughts are Palestinians themselves, good people, majority. Just like for Americans, there's bad apples, but majority are good. But Hamas is a terrorist organization, is evil, is seeking the death of all Jews. From the river to the sea, which is the River Jordan to the Mediterranean Sea, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Palestine will be free. What they're saying is there won't be Jews in the land of Palestine, in Israel. And many mean that as the eradication of all Jews.
Yeah.
So, and just let's be clear, at least my understanding of the word genocide, is the seeking of the death of all people of a certain race.
Yeah.
So, in this instance, that would be an example of genocide. So people need to be careful when they're making that chant because it is a genocidal chant. It is not just, we will be free from oppression. It is, we will be free of the Jew.
Yeah.
We will rid ourselves of the Jew.
Yeah.
The Palestinians are saying that?
Hamas.
Just Hamas. But there's people in America that are saying
that too. And they're saying Hamas is they're freedom fighters. Freedom fighters. Why don't you read their statement for me?
Yeah.
Tell me if that sounds like freedom.
Well, all you need to do, Trump just recently brokered a peace deal. I think it's been violated by Well, Israel says it was Hamas. Hamas says it was Israel. Who knows?
Thing
I
is,
don't know.
freedom isn't free.
Yeah.
But Trump brokered a peace deal with them. And guess who put Hamas in their place and said, Hamas, stand down?
Was it Trump?
All of the Arabic countries.
Yeah.
It was the entire Middle East that said, Hamas, sit down. You have done enough damage. And they said, you better behave. It's the only reason the peace deal happened.
Yeah.
You know, that should speak to the bipartisanship of Hamas is not good.
Yeah. If you
You
have
know.
all the other Middle Eastern countries saying that, that's
Right.
that's kind of crazy.
Right. I'm not going to condone bad things Israel did and is doing. But also, you have to understand that there are people that are seeking their demise, their genocide.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
100%.
the spirit of Hitler is alive and well right now. And that's a depressing thing to say.
Yeah. For sure.
So, ultimately, that's the message I want us to all walk away with today. Thank you for sharing your stories, Venus. I talked a lot more in this episode. I think I had a lot on my shoulders, on my chest that I was trying to really convey to the audience. But in the end, people may not be what you think they are. You may think the right is evil. You may think the left is evil. Take a moment to get to know your brother. Take a moment to get to know your sister and learn about them. And do it in a way we just did. This is a great example. We weren't talking over each other. Or if we did, I didn't notice. But
I kind of did a little bit. That's just because I'm punks like that. So.
But we didn't talk over each other. And when we're talking about our different experiences and stuff, we're giving each person a chance to speak and we're listening to them. And we're not trying to say, oh, I want to hear, how can I trap you? How can I ensnare you with words? I'm trying to say, I'm trying to empathize with where you come from. And I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and be like, how would I have felt if I lived through those experiences? What might you have been feeling? And when you start the conversation that way, I don't care what you believe, you're going to have a good, productive conversation.
Yeah.
So, again, we've kind of mentioned this before, but this Thanksgiving, do something similar to what we've done here. Have a civil conversation with your family, and instead of telling them what you believe, ask them why and what they believe. And you will learn so much about them. Sit there and listen. Don't become so easy to provoke and, trying to snap at them. Just be there. Be present with them. Do you have anything you want to leave with the audience before we end the episode?
Don't be racist. Please don't ask weird questions, but be curious. Just, be curious and appreciate people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts?
No, you guys are spitting bars this whole time. I kind of liked just listening.
He was along for the ride and enjoying it.
It was sick.
You still contributed.
Yeah, talking about McChickens and
McChickens,
stuff.
yeah. Might go try one.
No, I mean, you're probably going to disagree with lots of what we've said either today or in the past. You mentioned it. I kind of just want to drop it. Systemic racism does not exist. So disagree with that, please, and then come talk to us, or disagree with something else we've said. We've talked about abortion. We've talked, every episode about immigration up to this point.
That won't be a continuing thing.
It's
It's
an accident. It's almost like it's a pressing matter or something.
It's prevalent in many individuals' lives.
Yeah, but if you disagree with us, I mean, you can see that we're gonna talk about it and we're civil. And we had a left-leaning guy on last week, and it was a freaking awesome conversation. You just hit us up. Don't be a coward.
Have a great night, guys. Keep inviting new ideas and being open-minded.